Most people lose trading crypto because they have no plan. Just vibes, bad timing maybe. In episode 2 of this Futures Crypto Trading Bootcamp, I'll show you the simple ETH trading strategy I use almost daily to make smart, well-calculated trades without, of course, getting wrecked. In the last episode, we created a 𝗕𝗏𝗡 account, we funded it, we learned how to place our first trades, including using a stop loss and take profit. And today, we're gonna turn those first principles into trading profitably and proficiently to something that you can repeat time and time again, something that you can take wherever you are in the world, because that is the benefit of trading futures. So once again, if you haven't already watched episode 1, you should probably do that before watching this video. And there is a link beneath this video that you can follow along with me. You can sign up for 𝗕𝗏𝗡, which is a great exchange. No restrictions, you can use it from anywhere in the world. And of course, you get 20% cash back on your first deposit. Okay, so using Ethereum again as an example, it's the coin that I trade the most. It's what we used in episode 1 of this Futures Crypto Trading Bootcamp. What we're going to do here is go to indicators and we're going to look for moving average double. And we're going to use double because what we're going to be using here is the 20 and 50-day moving average. No matter what time frame you're on, whether it's the 1-minute chart or the hour chart, if we know that the 20-day moving average overlaps the 50-day in one direction or the other, that is a good trend indicator. But what we need to do first is we need to go to the settings of this indicator. And the first period we're going to want to set as 20. The second period we want as 50. That's 20 days, 50 days, and the method should be exponential. So this is the exponential moving average. This is what I get the best results with. And to be honest, it's what most professional traders use. So now we're looking at the daily chart and we can see that the 20-day moving average, this orange line, is showing the uptrend of Ethereum right now. You can see that it overlapped the 50-day moving average and look, we got a huge breakout. So had you have gone long on Ethereum where we got the breakout, you would have been in profits by about 40%. If you're using 10x leverage, that's a 400% gain. So great profits. But of course, it depends on the time frame that you're trading. For example, if I was to go right down to, I don't know, the 5-minute time frame, we can now see that Ethereum is actually in a downtrend. This orange line, the 20-day moving average, overtook the 50-day moving average. And had you have shorted when that crossover happened, you would also be in profits currently, but this is a low time frame number, 1.29%. This is where you may want to use leverage because it's low time frame. I mean, if you used 10x leverage, that 1.26 is 12.6% profit. But you can see the trend. 20-day moving average overtook the 50-day moving average. It works on any time frame. We can go all the way up to the weekly chart. And going back to this point in the chart, this was November 2023, where that 20-day overtook the 50-day. Had you have entered there, you could have made over 100% profit there. Right now, at the time of recording, the 20-day moving average is beneath the 50-day moving average, but what is crucial here is that it is getting closer, and that brings me on to the next indicator I want to show you. So again, going to indicators, we're going to type in RSI. It's the Relative Strength Index. The Relative Strength Index shows us how underbought or oversold an asset is. Again, you can go into settings. We don't need to do much here. I'm just going to actually make it a little bit bolder so we can see it easier. And I'm also going to bring in a moving average to the RSI as well, so we can see where the RSI stands with the average of the current trading range. Now, at the moment, the RSI has been on a downtrend. And with the RSI in a downtrend, it means the relative strength index is coming lower, which means it's more valuable. It's better to buy Ethereum now than it was at the same price in the 10th of May. So just for reference, it's the 17th of June. So about a month ago, the price was the same, but it was way more overbought. Right now, it's way more oversold and we're beneath the moving average. So it shows us that it's far more of a valuable long right now, according to the RSI. Of course, the RSI is measured all the way down to 30, up to 70 within a normal range. And if you ever see it go to as low as 30, it's a clear long signal. And if it's ever as high as 70 or above, it's a sell signal. And of course, it depends on the time frame. So again, let's go right down to the low time frames here. We're going to use the 30-minute time frame for this one. And we can see that the RSI is currently at 37, pretty low. In fact, you can see here, when the RSI went down to 29, the Ethereum price rallied from a price, well, we'll do percentage terms. It rallied 4%. If you were using 10x leverage there, that's a 40% gain. So what you're waiting for on the low time frames is for the asset to be very, let's say, undersold or overbought if you want to short. So at the bottom, you want a long. At the top, you want a short. Speaking of indicators, another way how I find trades is with CoinGPT. I mentioned this in episode 1. It's my own AI analysis tool. It's on Telegram. There's a link below. It's free. Check it out. I'm going to show you something super cool. You can analyze any coin using this bot, and it gives you a stop loss, take profit, but it has something called the scanner tool, the scanner feature. And using the scanner feature, what you can actually do is find coins that meet certain conditions in different time frames. So for example, we've just been looking at the RSI, Relative Strength Index. If I want to find coins that are oversold, we can go to a different time frame. Let's say, for example, the 15 minutes. Well, it tells us all the coins that are oversold. We could do it on the 1 hour time frame, for example. So all of these coins are oversold on that time frame. And there's many different other indicators as well, like bullish breakout, which is more similar to what we looked at with the 20-day overtaking the 50-day, golden cross, and so forth. So I suggest check out CoinGPT as well. It's amazing for beginners, and it's even great for intermediate to more advanced traders too. So next I'm going to show you something that is actually incredibly basic, but it's actually one of the best, certainly one of the easiest ways to use technical analysis. And most more advanced traders forget this basic tool. You know, going back to basics is one of the best things you can do, and it really does work. And it's support and resistance. You may already know support and resistance, but I'm going to show you this very quickly because it relates to the next indicator that I use as well. Support, you basically want to find the range that you're currently trading in. And right now, you can basically line up your wicks, and you can see that we do have a support level. Resistance, you can see that we have quite a clear resistance as well. I'm using the parallel channel indicator you can do there, but you can also do your own with trend lines. Support and resistance can also be triangular, and it can be in many different formats, but really you can see that this is a range. You can see the middle line being supported, and you can use this, of course, on any time frame. This is a daily. If I was to go, for example, into a 30-minute chart, we can most likely find support and resistance as well. So you can couple this with other indicators and the other analysis tools that I've shown you, which is very useful. So just as an example, 30-minute time frame, same applies. We can get our wicks, we can create a support level, which is evident to see. We can do resistance, which is less evident in this situation. You might want to adjust your resistance level and see if the support rallies in. I would say that is the correct range for here. And you can see right now, we're actually at the bottom of that range. So you can actually couple in some of the other indicators that we use. So for example, we used the moving average. So we'll bring in the moving average double that we learned just before. And we can see that right now that although we are at the bottom of this range, the 20-day moving average is still suggesting some lower price action. We can also couple in the relative strength index, and we can see where the RSI is, not currently quite at the bottom. So this shows me that we might still trade along this support level for a bit more, or we could even break to the downside. You only want to take a trade to the downside if it goes down, but wait for the RSI to come back down, wait for the 20-day moving average to go back up, and that would be a great entry for a long with good, well-managed risk to reward. We're going to learn more about risk to reward and proper trade management in the next episode. Okay, so the next indicator I use, and it's a little bit more technical, but I think you'll find it simple enough considering you've got to this stage of the video. This is what I use to finish off the 3 indicators that I used to be a profitable trader. It is the Fibonacci retracement tool. The way it works, you want to find a high and a low, or a low and a high. So I'll show you first of all with a high and a low. You're going to click Fibonacci retracement, and this tool gives you the key levels. They could be support, they could be resistance. I'm going to drag from the top down, you can see to the bottom of that structure, and you can see how these are the main levels to contend with. 0.618 is always the level of most importance that price action will literally 90% of the time go to, maybe higher. And these levels were done by, I don't know, he was a mathematician called Fibonacci from Italy, and he basically showed how these levels don't just relate to financial charts. In fact, they were more prominent, ubiquitous within nature. For example, like a snail's shell, for example, uses Fibonacci retracement. It's something very interesting, something quite mystical. I suggest to look into it in another video as well, but we're going to use it for charts, and you can see that these are the key levels to contend with. So price action, you could have, without knowing this bit of the chart, we could have just done a bottom here, and we could have said, okay, this is the key level to look at, the 0.5 level, and look where price went to. So it happens all the time, and we know that the next levels are here, here, and here. So let's see on a lower time frame. What we're going to do now is go into the daily chart, and we can create our low. We can go to our high, and we can see the support level in the chart. You can also extrapolate Fibonacci to higher prices. And what we do to do that, click on the Fibonacci that you've drawn, go to settings, scroll down here, go to reverse, press OK. And now it's giving you some targets to look at. And again, 1.618 is similar to 0.618. That's the target out of this current range that we're in. But you can see it goes all the way up to $7,740. So let me know if you're watching this video in the future if we went up to that price. I think we will. But you can also use it as support. So going from the low to the high, we can see these are the support levels. So right now we may come down to 2,299 like we did already. If we break that level, you've got 2,133, etc., etc. Very useful tool. When you combine this with the other indicators that I showed you, really your win rate is going to go from very low to very, very high. All you then need to focus on is managing risk and money management. And the good news is we're going to learn all about that in episode 3 of my crypto futures trading bootcamp. So once again, if you haven't already, your link for Femex down below is there. Using that link, no restriction, so you can use it from anywhere in the world, and you get 20% cash back on your first deposit, so up to $500 for free. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in episode 3 shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.